Hey everyone, welcome. So today we're going to do a complete step-by-step guide to the Trading 212 investing app. If you are an absolute beginner, you are in exactly the right place. All right, let's just dive right in. Getting started with investing can feel, well, pretty overwhelming, can it? You open up one of these apps and boom, you're just hit with all these crazy charts, all this jargon, and a million different options. If you're feeling a little bit intimidated, trust me, that is completely normal.
But hey, don't you worry. The whole point of this explainer is to just cut through all of that noise. We're going to break down exactly how to get started on Trading 212, nice and simple, so you can feel confident from the very first tap.
Okay, first things first. Before you even think about putting a single penny into this thing, you've got to know, is this platform safe? It's the most important question there is. So let's tackle it head on. So here's the deal, and this is absolutely crucial. Trading 212 is a fully regulated company. They're authorized by the Financial Conduct Authority, that's the FCA, which is basically the big boss of UK finance. It means they're held to the same super high standards as major banks. And as you can see, this gives you layers of protection. Your money is kept totally separate from their money, and your actual investments are held securely by a trusted third party. And on top of all that, any cash you're holding in your account, it's protected by something called the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, or FSCS for short. Think of it like a government-backed safety net. It means if, and this is a huge if, Trading 212 were to go out of business, your uninvested cash is protected all the way up to £85,000. All right, so now that we've got the safety stuff nailed down, we can feel a lot more comfortable moving on to the fun part. Let's get your account set up. Okay, so the sign-up process is probably going to look pretty familiar if you've ever opened a bank account online. You'll download the app, pop in your personal details, and then verify your identity with a photo ID. You will need your national insurance number handy, and they'll ask you a few quick questions about your investing experience. Just be honest with these, it's not a test. It's just a legal thing they have to do to make sure the app is right for you. Now, this is a really important step, choosing your account type. For pretty much everyone in the UK who's just starting out, the Stocks and Shares ISA is going to be your best bet. Why? Because you can invest up to £20,000 a year, and any growth or income you make is completely tax-free. Seriously, no tax. The Invest account is really for when you've already filled up your ISA for the year. Okay, here is a pro tip. Do not skip this part. During the setup, you're going to see something called a W-8 form. It sounds complicated, but it's not. All you have to do is sign it digitally. It basically just tells the US government, hey, I'm not a US citizen. The payoff is huge. It cuts the tax on any income from US stocks from a whopping 30% all the way down to 15%. It's a no-brainer. Accounts created, you're all verified, ready to roll. Now we just need to get some money in there. So let's look at the best way to actually do that. So you've got a few ways to add money. And yeah, using your card or Apple Pay is super easy, but listen up, they're only free for your first £2,000. After that, a little 0.7% fee kicks in. The best way, hands down, is the instant bank transfer. It is completely free, no matter how much you deposit, and the money shows up instantly. Trust me, for long-term investing, you want to avoid fees wherever you can, so this is the one you want to use. All right, money's in the account. So, before we pull the trigger on our first investment, let's just do a super quick tour of the app so you know where everything is. It's actually way simpler than it looks, I promise. Okay, that first tab on the bottom, the little pie chart icon, that's your portfolio. This is your home base, your mission control. It's where you'll see how much your investments are worth, how they're doing over time, and how much cash you have ready to go. Right next to that, you've got the magnifying glass. That's your search function. This is basically the shop, the marketplace. It's where you can go to find any individual company stock you can think of, or these things called ETFs, which are basically just a pre-made basket of stocks all bundled together. Super useful. And finally, that little icon with the 3 lines, that's your main menu. This is where all the behind-the-scenes stuff happens. You know, depositing and withdrawing money, getting help if you need it. Oh, and it has this really cool practice mode where you can play around with fake money. I would 100% recommend trying that out first, just to get a feel for things without any risk. All right, this is it. This is the moment we've been building up to. We know the app is safe, our account is set up, the money is in, and we know our way around. It is time to actually buy our first investment. Let's start with just a simple manual purchase. First, you just use that search bar to find whatever stock or ETF you want to buy. Tap the big Buy button. Now you'll see a few different options, but as a beginner, just stick with market order. All that means is you're buying it at whatever the price is right now.
Then you just type in how much you want to invest, and you can literally start with just £1. Review your order to make sure it's right, and hit confirm. And that's it. You're an investor.
Now, just before you hit confirm, there are a couple of small costs you should know about so there are no surprises. If you're buying something that isn't in British pounds, like a US stock, there's a tiny 0.15% currency exchange fee. And if you're buying shares in an individual UK company, there's a 0.5% government tax called stamp duty. But here's the good news. That tax usually doesn't apply to those ETFs we talked about, which is a nice little bonus. Okay, buying stuff manually is great. But Trading 212 has this amazing feature that's kind of a game changer for automating everything. It's called pies. And a pie is just a collection of investments you put together. You create a mini portfolio, you decide which investments go into it, and you decide how big each slice of the pie should be. So, for example, you could make a pie where, say, 50% of your money goes into a big S&P 500 fund, 30% goes into a tech fund, and the last 20% goes into emerging markets. From then on, every single time you put money into that pie, the app does all the work and splits it perfectly for you according to those percentages.
But here's where it gets really powerful. You can set up something called AutoInvest to automatically add money to your pie on a schedule, like every single month. Now here's the secret sauce. You want to tell the app to use free funds, and then you just set up a simple standing order from your regular bank account to your Trading 212 account. If you do it this way, your investing becomes 100% automated and, more importantly, 100% free of any deposit fees. It's the set it and forget it method.
Okay, so let's just quickly run through the biggest takeaways. Number 1, the platform is safe, it's regulated, it's protected. Number 2, for UK investors, that Stocks and Shares ISA is your ticket to tax-free growth. Number 3, always use the free bank transfer to add your money. And finally, you can either buy things yourself or you can put your whole portfolio on autopilot with pies. And the best part, you can get started with as little as a quid.
And honestly, that's it. You now know everything you need to get started and feel totally confident. So the only question left is the really exciting one. What's your first investment going to be? Thanks for tuning in.